Hey, this is Chris from Rekkid Talk. So I'm doing a contest for Beth, Miss 80's. So she liked music and movies, especially from the 1980s. She told us we did not have to limit ourselves to the 80's, but most of my stuff I will be showing for this is from the 1980s, based around the number 250, 250. So let's get into it. The two, we want a double feature of movies. So first, I picked the quintessential 70s movie made in the 90s. Movie made in 1993, set in 1976. Dazed and Confused on the very 80s VHS format. And then I picked the quintessential 80s movie made in the 90s, The Wedding Singer. So he's going to party like it's 1985. And so also on VHS. The five albums that you cannot live without. Think Holy Grail's Desert Island picks. Now, I'm not really a Holy Grail Desert Island pick sort of person. Not really that devoted to any particular album. But I'm going to pick five albums from the 80's. I'm going to pick the odd numbered years. And these are all either favorites or close to favorites from some of my favorite bands. And so 1981, we're going to represent with Susie and the Banshees, Juju. And so I think that's the best Susie and the Banshees album. John McGeoch on guitar, best guitarist ever. Their strongest lineup, some of their strongest songs, Spellbound. 1983, I'm going to pick U2 War. When I would probably in the 1980s, I probably would have told you this is my favorite U2 album. I sometimes go with some other choices now. It's still a very strong choice. 1985, Husker Du, New Day Rising. I don't have it on vinyl. SST Records is kind of annoying. They're not the best at reissuing their stuff and having enough of it out. So I still have my CD that I bought a long time ago. 1987. And that happens to be my favorite Husker Du album, which is not always the standard choice there. Girl Who Lives on Heaven Hill is probably my favorite Husker Du song ever. And then 1987, we're going to stick in Minneapolis. The Replacements, Pleased to Meet Me. And so they're on Sire Records now. I know a lot of people that this is going more towards the Paul Westerberg songwriter style as opposed to the dirty punk style. I know I'm supposed to say Let It Be is my favorite Replacements album, but Alex Chilton, Nightclub Jitters, Shootin' Dirty Pool, Skyway, Can't Hardly Wait. Some of my favorite Replacement songs are on this album from 1987. And then 1989, we are going to show you my favorite Cure album, Disintegration. So I've got a recent, it's on 2 discs here. I don't know what else to say. Fascination Street, Pictures of You, Last Dance, very good stuff. And then finally, the Zero band, song, album, film, lyric that has a zero in it somewhere. So the Gears, Rockin' at Ground Zero from the year 1980. And so if you don't know the Gears, they're a fairly obscure LA punk band, although it's more Ramonesy than hardcorey. The cover is in terrible shape, and that's the reason why that album was affordable enough for me to own. Play Gems Records. The vinyl is in, fortunately, pretty decent shape, as opposed to the rather terrible shape that the album cover is in. And so there you go, Beth. I think I'm in just under 5 minutes. So hope you liked that trip through the 80's and a bit in the 70's.